Well, I hope this video comes out all right. Looks like my camera's out of alignment a little bit. The wind's starting to kind of pick up around here. All morning, not a single wisp of air, and now I'm trying to make this video and wind starts blowing. I'm making this for a buddy of mine, actually. He was wondering about a 50 caliber black powder rifle I have, old cap and ball. He's shot nothing but inlines his entire life and has no idea what to do with a regular cap and ball. So I figured I'd show him. Me personally, I just assume stick with the old style cap and ball. You know, the old technology has been around for a few hundred years. Something I know works. Well, we'll start out here. I'll go over some basic components of a cap and ball rifle, and then I'll touch off the one I have here, and I'll go through the reloading process. First off, you have your round ball. This is a .495 round ball, because mine's a 50 caliber. You have patches, or wadding, that goes around them. You can get these pre-cut jobs that come in a little pad, and then peel off into little singulars. Or you can cut your own out of old pillow picking, you know, the old blue and white stuff is the best. There's a lot of information you can get offline about that. Then, of course, you got your cap and your powder. Now, on my 50 caliber, I know mine will go clear up to 150 grains of 3F black powder, but I like to keep it right around 90 grains. I found with some of the higher, heavier loads, I lose some of my accuracy. 90 grains is pretty good at a standard distance, target distance. I can ping with that just as good as I can with my 22. So that's the basic components. Of course, another thing you're going to need is a ball starter. Sometimes those balls are a real bugger to seat down in there if you don't have one of these and you're just trying to use your ramrod. I have a pre-measured load here, so you're not going to be able to see me measure anything out, but they've got these slide measures. They're based on volume, or you can just have the powder smell. Let me get my rifle now. This is an old Hawken my grandfather built. Put Green Mountain barrel on it. It's a relatively old barrel, and it's only got a 6-digit serial number, the first few are zeros, so it's been around a while. My grandfather used to use this one in competition, and I personally put a few rounds through it, so I know this one's seen some action. He put a military style peep sight on it because he was using it for competition. It's a real good rifle. It's got a double trigger. Set the back one and breathe on the first one. Set your rear trigger. Otherwise, just got your standard trigger. So I'm going to take this off, and I'm going to go through the loading process. Well, that's actually quite a common thing with black powder. This is where you keep your muzzle pointed downrange. It's a failure to fire. Remember, I've heard people start saying, "Oh, I got a dud, I got a dud." There's no such thing as duds in firearms. You just recap it, keep it pointed downrange, and usually that's all it takes is being recapped. Primer out of there. Alright, press that. Now some people like to blow down their barrel to blow the smoke, get the embers out. I personally don't put some moisture from your breath down the barrel and could potentially foul up the powder. I just take my stick, my ramrod, and slam it down in there real good, and then make sure all those embers are pushed out. You don't want to be pouring powder down there when there's embers down there. Go over here and get my pre-measured load. Alright, sorry about that little bit of dead space there. I misplaced my pre-loaded casing there. I just take an old 12 gauge shell, put my pre-measured 90 grains of powder in it. A lot of times if I take them out in the field, for speed loads if you will, I put a cork on the end of them. So we put your black powder in there, and again I'm using 3F. I use that in my pistol as well. I find it's a really good all-around powder. I take your patch, make sure you got it centered over the barrel, push your ball in firmly with your thumb. This is where your ball start comes in. There's a little tip up the side of the balled end. Set it on top of your round ball and push. And then you use the other end, the shaft end, to finish putting it on the bore. Then you take your ramrod and you push it home. Now a lot of times you'll get right there and it'll get tight and then it'll break loose. That means you're getting a good gas seal, and you just lightly tap your ball so because these are soft lead, and if you're sitting there like I see some of these guys, they've beaten on them, very hard, and that works them out of shape and throws off your accuracy. Quick note on the patches. The black ball, you touch off your couple rounds and you go out in front of you probably about 15, 20 yards, and you'll be able to find your patches. And if they are just streaked with powder and or lead and the patch is whole, the patches get loose. If they are scored by the rifling, then you've got a good patch thickness and a good seal. If they're blown to smithereens, it's way too bad. And that does absolutely nothing for your accuracy. So we take now and put our number 11 cap on here. Set your number 11 cap on your nipple, make sure it's firmly seated. Now if you're going to set this rifle down, you're in line to wait for a shoot competition. Of course, you hold your hammer back, slowly ease it down under the primer, and wait for your turn. Obviously here we're by ourselves. So I'm going to push it off. And that's the basics. I hope it helps.